What's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. A lovely day down here, so I'm gonna sit outside, take a little break, and catch some rays. But got a couple things on my mind. I know I didn't have any questions submitted, but Molly's always really clutch and throwing out some ideas, which is pretty neat. And I have a couple catch-up things. So one, Ruck Your Balls Off is going on. So I think honestly, we've had only 5 people sign up, and we are 5th on the leaderboard for teams doing fundraising. So I'm going to start pushing you guys a little bit harder, because if everyone in here just put in $5, whether you wrecked or not, you go in and you donate something to us, we could make a huge impact. And so as a dog lover, as a ruck lover, I really want you guys to get behind it. And I kind of ask that you will, I feel like I try to do my best for you guys. So when I ask for a little bit of help, I hope that you kind of step up and throw what's $5, right? Like it's skipping that morning coffee that's putting too many carbs in your macros or something like that. But I would really appreciate it. I know, Lexi, Christina, Molly, Jim, we're all signed up for it. So either decide to ruck up and, be a part of this, or drop $5 in there for us, and let's see what we can do. And then speaking of other things, supporting each other, I actually missed last month's First Form winner, and I've had awesome. Thank you guys so much for using my link to order. It makes a huge difference. And know that I'm always here with whatever questions that you have on supplements and protein and pre and post workout, vitamins, anything that First Form has, I can definitely help with. And, even if you want me to look into something else, just know that I actually have like an education on what First Form has. So if it's just like random stuff, I don't know as much about that. But anyways, had a bunch of people order the past 2 months. So instead of giving away just 2 gift cards, I'm going to give away 4 gift cards. And the funny part was, I'm going to go ahead and tell you who won, because you need to hear the story. That Mallory Benoist, you won one, Chris Stewart, and Christina Allmeyer. You guys are the 4 winners from February and March, since I missed it. So April's still going to go on. But I wanted 4 different winners, and I kept hitting it. And Mallory, it wanted you to win. You came up 3 out of 5 or 6 clicks, something like that. So I was like, you know what? If the internet wants Mallory to take 2, the internet has spoken. So Mallory, you're going to get 2 First Form gift cards. Chris and Christina, I'll send you your 1. And again, I appreciate you guys. First Form products literally are so delicious, so legit. When you use something like that, it can truly change your game if you're smart about how you go about it, what it's used for, when it's used, all of those things you can ask me. But I have like a serious addiction to the cinnamon cookie batter protein powder right now that we're putting in our sludges. It's like freaking lighting my fire. That's the Easter thing that I put up. I want to put that in everything. I didn't cuss. Are you surprised by that? So thanks again. If you have questions, and if you guys want to know about, the other links and promotions and giveaways and things that I have, I put that email in here yesterday. I also would love to grow that email database. So if you're someone who, likes to save things for later, or you're kind of an emailer, there are double as many people in this group as there are on my email list. So drop your email below. I'll add you to the list. I'm not spammy. Get you some more information. So appreciate you guys for doing that. And then, we'll just jump into the couple things that Molly gave me that are pretty good. So MyFitnessPal hacks, which is kind of funny, because one of my longest running nudes yesterday texted me and didn't realize that she could change the top of her MyFitnessPal to show macros instead of calories. Probably a coaching error, but putting up screenshots. So there's a couple little funny things with MyFitnessPal that you can do. You can look at the calorie count, and with the 3 dots next to it, you can change to macro focus. I do believe some of this stuff might be a premium feature, but if you're getting after it, might as well pay the money, get after it. There's also ways that you can tap different things. Like if you go into breakfast and you tap the numbers, they'll change between percentages and macros once you have it in a macro view. So you can tap those little things. They'll kind of switch. If you view MyFitnessPal on a computer instead of your phone, there's kind of some additional things that you can see there. But note, if you ever tap something, the same kind of tap or click, and it goes to like dashes, it's hit something that it doesn't have. So just tap it again. For a couple times I thought that I've completely lost it. There's a cool way to go in and copy things from your friends. So let's say you're scrolling through my information and you see, you know, my Friday night pizza, and you're like, ooh, I want to make what Chelsea did. You can go in and tap the 3 dots next to my meal and save it into yours. So you could, you know, go in and take that and then move it to your diary and then save it from there. So it used to have a function where you could send it to someone, which was super clutch, and I don't know why they got rid of it. Annoying. But at least you can go in and find it. So, you know, let's say you're going over for dinner at another nude's house and she has a recipe and you want to put it in, you know, you can go take that recipe out, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you can open up the recipe and see the ingredients in it. That could be something. If you guys know, drop below. Then huge key is making sure that what you are putting in MyFitnessPal seems legit. I preach this all the time, that you can't just look up something in the database and use it. For instance, my mom I told you guys about our Polish kielbasa. My mom sent us kielbasa, so I went up to go find a generic entry. Saw kielbasa, it said like 180 calories for 2 ounces, something like that. I'm like, okay, let's see. Open it, 000. So this is where someone was calorie counting and not macro counting and didn't take the time to put in the other ingredients. So it might catch you off guard. I do also say a lot that I think people put in the information that they want it to be. Maybe I'm just being a hater, but definitely open it up and read it. You know, I really often see people put in something like mashed potatoes and it has 1 gram of fat or 4 grams of fat. I'm like, usually has some sort of butter or milk or something in it. So think about, you know, what you've made before and what you've put in, and then read it to see if it's right. The biggest thing that I think is that typing in USDA and grams is a great way to search for things, because you're actually looking for the nutritional content that the government puts out, right? So it's not just like Sally's salad or something like that. You're looking up something a little bit more specific. And so what I do is I'll go in, and first step is I kind of look and see like, okay, I'm going to use zucchini. I see zucchini and I see 18 calories. I even having trouble thinking of that word. 18 calories, 34 calories, 18, 26, 52. And I'm like, okay, 18 is the repeating number here. So something seems right there. The next thing that I'll do is look over, and sometimes it'll say like zucchini USDA 0642376. They are talking about the USDA reference number that's on the big list, like the Encyclopedia of USDA. So usually those people that take that amount of detail to not only put in the USDA, but and the reference number, and it's spelled right, which I've spelled things wrong, but all of those things, then you open it up and see, okay, that one looks legit. I can search for it in grams, because if you tap, maybe it says ounces and you tap it and it gives you a list, and you can choose grams out of that. But those are better. So not only I'm choosing 18s, you know, the consistent number of calories, because, okay, there's a pattern. Something's got to be right here. The USDA reference number. And then, yeah, when you go in, sometimes you'll see ounces and you want grams, should want grams. You go to click it, and you tap the serving size, it says ounce, and it'll drop down and give you some gram options. So that one's a pretty cool one, and can save you quite a bit of time. And even if that specific entry that you open doesn't have it, look for another one, because people will put different sorts of information in there, which is really great and makes it really easy. What else can I say? There is a hack for doing something. So you scan something in, but you don't plan on having it yet. And so in that day you go in and remove it. MyFitnessPal is not going to save that. So what I do is go into a day that's already passed that I'm not going to mess with anymore, put it in, and then MyFitnessPal will save it because it thinks that I've had it. So rather than use today and delete it, use yesterday and leave it. You don't have to worry about yesterday, right? It's gone, and go from there. So that's a pretty awesome one. Some other hacks. Up in the left-hand corner, you can select all and move things to a different day. That's a really good one. So if you have a couple meals that are pretty repetitive, or you want to move something, or for you guys that meal prep, you do it once, you enter it in one day, copy it across the other days, boom, perfect. Everything's all laid out for you. Yeah, Trish, I hear you on the grams. I actually will type in grams in the search too. So zucchini USDA grams, and look for it in that way. Makes it a lot easier. And then you start to remember things like 3 ounces is 85 grams. So you see 3 ounces and you're like, maybe they have a gram entry, or you just start selecting it by grams. So definitely makes it easy. Kind of bothers me. This is totally a side note. It bothers me when people use 100 grams, because I'm like, it's not even an ounce. Like it doesn't even like connect. It's like 85 is 3, 113 is 4. So why can't we, anyways, use that? And what else from MyFitnessPal? Definitely turn off your exercise calories. So exercise bonuses, disconnect anything that changes your calories. This has been happening to one of my nudes a lot lately. He got a Fitbit, and it updated his macros and got them all out of whack. So not only take your Fitbit off it, but also once you set your macros, turn off the exercise function, because for whatever reason in MyFitnessPal, as you exercise, it adds calories to you. And so it's like, I know calories don't matter, and if you have your macros set, I don't believe it changes those, but it shouldn't. I want to be burning that off, not adding on to it, right? Maybe it depends on how your goals are set up, but doesn't really matter. Yeah, Trish, you can measure 100 grams of steak. That's fine. Yeah, so turn off the exercise portion of it, especially if you're working with a coach and they have set your macros for you. Your level of activity and their expectation for you is already figured into those macros. So I know it's rewarding and fun to have it tell you that you worked out, but it's messing with your macros. So, tell your coach that you worked out, put it in your daily log, do all that kind of stuff, post it on the Instagram, get somebody fired up, take it off MyFitnessPal. It's not going to be the same benefit for you. And what else? Read what you put in. So you set a good entry, you figured it out, you're good, you're moved on, but did you actually take the time to learn something about it? Had this a lot. It must be hot dog season, must be corn dog season. Had this a lot going on lately that, someone will put in a kielbasa or a corn dog or something like that, and not go to read like, oh, I didn't realize that hot dogs have more fat than protein in it. I'm not giving hot dogs a bad rap, just being honest with it, right? So now I'm like, okay, so if I need quite a bit of fat in, some protein, hot dog might be a good idea for me. So by taking that extra step to actually go read it and see, it can be a game changer for you. It can also change things that maybe were tempting into not being tempting. So I'm going to use Molly. She had a birthday the other day and had a Jilly's cupcake, and looked up the macros on it, and she was like, oh my gosh. And it's like, okay, cool. Jilly's cupcakes, bomb. Is it worth my next 4 days of macros? Maybe not. So it's just an education and a learning, because now you have a piece to actually wager against, right? If we look at macros like a bank account, do you want to spend it on that? I wish that we could get refunds for bad food, right? I'm not a great cook. I cook something shitty, I still eat it because I'm like, I don't want to waste the macros. I wish I could get it back because I tried that and I don't want it anymore, right? Or just I don't know. But anyways, if you look at it like a bank account and like what you have to spend, and you log in and you see your macros for the day as like dollars and cents and commas and whatever, do you want to spend it on what you're sitting in front of at that moment? Do you want to plan for it? And if you want to, great. If you don't, whatever. But just have a way of learning a little bit more so that you can make an educated response to that and not just fall into habit or, whatever, and then be like, oh God, those chips and dips weren't even worth it, so why didn't I read the macros on it? Just read it. Maybe instead of chips and dip, you get to get a whole nother taco, something like that. And then, yeah, that was a good one. Great one, Molly. And then the Nude Nation N3 method. So it's something that I'm trying to get you guys to use as a vernacular and kind of start to just trigger for it, right? So the N3 method is something I came up with. There's other ones called plate methods or lazy macros or things like that. But the N3 method came up for me when I was on vacation at one point and needed a way to create some rules for myself so that I could make better decisions. So the N3 method is 3 or more ounces of a cooked lean protein, 2 cups of fruits or vegetables, and 1 fat only. So that is my trigger when I go to a restaurant and I see the menu. I'm like, okay, I'm going to find my lean meat. Okay, I'm going to go with the pork tenderloin. I need 2 cups of fruits and veggies. All right, I'm going to do a big salad and then only 1 fat. Well, the pork tenderloin says that it comes with a glaze of some sort. I'm not really sure what that is, so I'm going to ask to put that on the side. And then in the salad, I think instead of a balsamic vinaigrette, I'll do the goat cheese. So I'm going to use just a vinegar to cut out the dressing, which is a fat, and I'm going to go with goat cheese instead. Boom. So easy way to break down a menu in your mind and balance a plate across it, right? Like maybe the macros aren't perfect, but I can at least look and say, okay, I had something lean, I had something that grows, which is also my carb. And maybe the demi-glaze or something like that also becomes a carb, but I'm not getting worked into every little single piece of it. I'm looking big picture. I need meat, I need some vegetables, and I don't need a ton of fat because everything in this world has fat, right? Like oatmeal, why are you having fat? Anyways, so good way to balance it. Then the next 2 pieces of the N3 method are drink or dessert, not both, because alcohol goes into your system at 7 calories per, just like fat is 9, just like protein is 4, alcohol is 7. So if we're going to use that as a carb and a fat, desserts are mostly carbs and fat. So I need to pick one or the other. And then lastly, to top it off, 30 minutes of movement a day. So you're out on vacation, you're visiting with family, you're not tracking in MyFitnessPal, but you just want to have a good balance on your day. 30 minutes of movement is easy. It's walking the dog. It's taking your kids on a walk. I see these awesome parents in our neighborhood that their kids go out on their little tricycles and the parents jog behind them. Goals. Super cool. It could be anything of the sort. It's closing your Apple Watch rings and making sure that you get in enough steps. But yeah, easy way to balance out your day with a nudist mentality, right? So we're looking at 3 or more ounces of lean protein, 2 cups of fruits or veggies, only 1 fat, drink or dessert, not both, 30 minutes of movement, and I skipped one. Snacks are protein and fruits or veggies only. So if we can look at getting additional protein because it's not easy to come by, and then fruits, I'm not going to get mad at you for having a banana and going over your macros if you're just trying to learn something, right? So we're trying to get more healthy, balanced things in our diet throughout the day. So a good way to do that is fruits or vegetables, lean protein, fat. I promise you will hit without even trying. And then when you get to an expert, you're like, why is it so hard for me to hit fat? And that's when the fun begins. That's when you get to put the oils and things back in your food. So don't worry about it. But yeah, great way to go about it. Balancing out your day, and just a simple way too. If you're starting back to MyFitnessPal trip, tips and tricks, you're starting to plan ahead and you're like, I don't even know what to put in all of these meals. Start with the N3 method. Go ahead and make 3 meals a day of 3 ounces of lean protein, 2 cups of fruits or vegetables, 1 fat only, and then go back in and finish out with some protein and fruits and veggies for snacks. Boom, got your day planned out. Also works through a drive-through. Oh, I'm going to have the Chick-fil-A egg white grill because it's lean protein, egg whites, and chicken. I'm going to have a side of fruit, and I'm going to skip all the other garbage because there's fat in the cooking that they're using already, and I don't need anything fried because I gotta be honest, guys, it's just not easy to fit. So cool. Yeah, I think those 2 things were great. And then the last one, if you guys like the mindset kind of tip stuff, Molly had another good one about listening and asking why. So this is where we talk about breaking habits and why you do something. You know, you're home getting off work and you're like, oh, I'm just going to go swing by and pick something up. You know, I don't have anything prepped. I'm just going to go to Papa John's. Okay, so if you listen to yourself and you said, I just got off work, I don't have anything prepped, I'm just going to, what took you to Papa John's versus Panera, right? It's something you've always done. So you're asking yourself why, because I'm tired, because I just want to grab something easy, pizza sounds good, you know, whatever. So really, does pizza sound good or does it sound easy? Could it be just as easy to turn into Papa John's as it could be to turn into Panera and make a smaller, better decision for yourself? If it's just because you always have, if it's just because it's the first thing that comes to mind, I mean, think about this, guys. You didn't think about Papa John's or Panera till I just said it. That's why there's signs on the highway, because they want you to think about them and then go make a movement. So if we can ask ourselves why we're doing this, why Papa John's, why not Panera, maybe now we can make a little bit of a different decision. If we can, you know, catch ourselves opening the fridge, and I did this week. So the other day I opened the fridge and what was it? I think it was some of our leftover Easter ham. I started eating the Easter ham, and right behind it were strawberries. Strawberries take a lot to add up to any sort of macros, but I dipped into my dinner protein by having that ham. If I had just moved that forward and caught myself, why did I grab that ham instead of something else? It's because I didn't take the time to look past it. So just even it's not in a I don't want this to come from a place of like, you're making bad decisions, you need to slow down. It's just taking the opportunity when you have a second to be like, whoa, why did I just do that? Why am I looking for that? You know, if I'm hungry at 2 p.m., is it because, oh my gosh, you know, I haven't had any fat today and it's been half the day and my body is asking for it. You know, just taking the extra second to figure out why and then plan from there versus just reacting to something. Yeah, it's kind of a great way to go about it. It also could be, you know, goal related in a more broad sense. You know, I want to go do something. Well, why do you want to go do that? And then talk to yourself, listen to yourself, and start to convince yourself that you're aware of the choices you're making and you're not just doing them automatically. So great question. Pretty cool. I like this episode a lot. Your thoughts are just suggestions. Give it time. Another one will pop in your head and you choose. Yeah, that's great, Molly. Yeah, just you have these things kind of come up and you have what she's saying is you're being laid with different options if you took the time to actually listen to the different steps, and then you can choose from there. If I had stepped back and said, okay, there's ham and strawberries, boom, strawberries don't add up as much, I can grab that. Same kind of thing. Or, you know, why every time that I come home and I grab something, you know, off the counter, why can't I move that around so it's out of sight, out of mind? Or am I really hungry or am I bored? Or all of those different things. Give yourself a second to give yourself different options and make the most informed choice. So yeah, great stuff. Great questions, Molly. I love it. So hope your day is going awesome and get your taxes done. That's what's on my plate today. And thank you guys for ordering through Lynx. You know, again, if you have questions on Firstborn products or blenders or Whoop or, you know, whatever else I sent in there, t-shirts, whatever, ask me. I'd love to be here for you. So one more really cool email introducing you guys to the new mail coach is coming out here soon. So if you're not on our mailing list, drop it below, and you guys have a good rest of your day. See ya.